Hello and welcome to the 90th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by our co-host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
Jordan, this has to be the moldiest and sweatiest edition of the podcast we've had ever.
We're moldy and sweaty, yeah.
Yeah.
We're both suffering from a mold disease. We are.
Yeah, we're becoming The Last of Us.
Yeah.
We're going to become clickers.
Yeah, which we'll get into a little bit specifically. But should I do the honors?
Well, I mean, it's your job, isn't it?
I suppose it is.
It's your job to do that job.
I love that episode of SpongeBob, man. But anyway, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course Pocket Cast, my app of choice. There's also the RSS feed. Put it in your favorite app. And if you didn't know, we also post on YouTube. We have a video platform. You can see us. You can see the moldy, sweaty boys in action.
The moldy sweatman.
Yeah. Watch us while we play with our debts. And as always, contact us via email, synapsemisfire@pm.me, as well as Instagram and TikTok. Comments, questions, concerns, and death threats.
Yeah?
So, Chris, why are we moldy boys today?
We did some work on the studio.
We did do some work.
Yeah, we pulled up the floor, and then we pulled up the subfloor, and there is standing water underneath the sub. Not a lot. But there's like a puddle under there.
Yeah, like more water than you should have under your subfloor.
Yeah. And there is very clearly either mold or rot of some kind.
Yeah.
So, if we inexplicably die or turn into some kind of
cordyceps fungus virus.
Yeah, or like turn into like a megamycete from Resident Evil. That's probably why. But we did some work. It's going to be a bit more work than I had initially anticipated.
Yes.
But
this is all for the set, by the way.
Yeah, we're chugging along here. So,
yeah.
We've just gotten, or more so, I've been too busy to do other things. So, because we had to do the short film last time.
Which we'll also talk about.
And this time we could work on it, but then, like, I'm not going to have much time because I still have, what's the 23rd? Yeah. I have one thing I have to take care of over the weekend. Two things I have to take care of before Tuesday. So, one thing that's due Sunday, one thing that's due Tuesday. Two things that are due Tuesday. So that's three things. And then I have, I think, 3 or 4 more things that are due before May 1st. That's not including finals, though, like the actual exams.
The actual final.
So I got a bunch of shit to do is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we've been just busy in general, Chris especially with school. So the idea is when Chris is out of school, we can maybe spend a little more time doing things we've been trying to do. And yeah, we're chugging along on the set, though. We got a lot done. I'll try to remember to take some photos. I didn't yet, so I probably will forget. But I'll try to remember to take like a basic photo to maybe show. But it's rank in there. We took measurements of the floor, and we had it split into 3 categories. We had, well, what do we call the good side?
Well, so we had the breaker box.
Breaker box, which is
because there's a breaker box there. So I labeled that break box. And then there was a dip.
Yeah.
Like an inlet because it had to compensate for the breaker box. And I called that snub.
And then we had the rotten part that we called rank.
Yeah, it was the other wall. I called that rank.
It was all our measurements. But yeah, we did a lot today. It's pretty like late in the day for when we'd normally record.
Yeah.
And we went against our golden rule of recording before projects because otherwise we're like just dead after.
No, but, I'm pretty not dead.
Yeah, for now. You're going to be hurting tomorrow, dude.
Oh, well,
the amount of ripping and tearing, like, it was like a Doom match in there.
I already made it a point, I already made that point saying that, like, yeah, I'm feeling fine now, but I know tomorrow I'm going to kill myself.
Well, you did tell our boss that on Sunday, when he asked what we were doing, we're like, oh, Saturday's podcast. And you're like, Sunday I'm just going to sit in decay. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I don't care what you've been up to. I want to talk about me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm a narcissist.
Makes sense.
We'll get to you later, Jordan. We'll talk about the less important stuff.
Is this about the short film?
This is about my schooling.
Ooh, you're a escuela.
because you mentioned weekend plans. I want to get this right off the hop. I am fucking upset.
Oh, yeah.
Group projects are fucking annoying, okay? Thursday, just now 2 days ago, as it is today is Saturday.
If my math is correct.
2 days ago, yesterday was Friday, day before, Thursday, I was in class, and we have a little group project we gotta work on. It's due on Tuesday. We had a little, it's 4 people, including myself, and we had a little meeting. They said, you know what? Tomorrow night, we'll do a Discord call.
Yeah, you told me about this. That's right. You had it planned. We talked about it. I take it didn't go well.
And no Discord call was had.
So no one showed up.
Yeah, so basically it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to go through. Whatever. I'm going to go get dinner. I went and got dinner, and I got back so I left like 7:30. I get back, it's like 8 o'clock. I get back, I'm sitting in front of my computer. I'm like, man, I eat my food. Like, man, I'm getting really fucking tired because I barely slept Thursday night for some reason unknown to me. So I'm kind of getting tired. So I'm just gonna sit here on YouTube, because if these cocksuckers message me now, I'm not gonna join the call because I'm going to bed soon. I know that much, right? No Discord call was had.
No messages were received.
No messages were sent or received. So, here's where I'm at. I was going to do an additional component for this, which included myself making like a little video of some kind. I was going to do something like that. But I decided, you know what? Fuck it. These guys clearly don't give a shit. So why do I have to give a shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? Like,
they're not putting any effort forth.
We'll do enough to, get the grade. But, we could have had a better grade if we would have just met and convened and then, worked on it and then decided what to do, and I could have worked on something today. But now, I'm not going to work on something tomorrow or Monday.
Fuck that.
So, I'll just work on my little portion of it, and they'll do whatever they got to do.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You're just kind of going for the grade at this point because they didn't put any effort forth. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's a group project moment. Also, I have more beef with people in that same class. I have beef. I don't know with who, but there's 2 people that if I find out who they are, they're dead. So, our final project for this class, that's our final. We don't have an exam, we have a project.
Right.
The project is we have to make a GUI-based program. We have to write on paper a password policy. You know how a company will have a password policy, you have this, and this.
This many characters, this many capital. Yeah.
We're going to write one out and then make a GUI-based program that would enforce that. So, it would look like a little login terminal, and you could just punch in, a username and a password to tell you this will work or that'll work or you need this and this. You know what I'm saying? So, that was the original project. But then, he, I don't know, maybe a month ago proposed, well, what if I give you a couple of assignments, and if you do them well enough, you won't have to do the full project. Great. First project is pseudocode. So we had to write out in plain English what we wanted the program to do. Right? Did that. And the agreement was if everyone got more than an 80, we would move on and we would do one other part and then one other part. 2 other parts rather. So everyone passed it in. He took fucking forever to grade it. I ended up getting 100. I know that everyone else got at least above an 80.
Mm-hmm.
The next portion was we had to make just a GUI, a GUI that you could put characters into, essentially.
Sounds simple enough.
Yeah. It took me an hour. 2 people did not turn it in. For obvious reasons, the professor didn't tell us which 2 people.
Yep.
But if I find them, they're dead.
So now you have to do a final project.
So now I have to do the difficult part of this program, which is incorporate all the logic that I promised I would in my pseudocode. Which, let me let you in on a secret, Jordan. I know for a fact I can't do.
Yeah.
I can't do all of the requirements. I can do most of them. But I was like, the password, once it's entered, will be encrypted with SHA 256, the algorithm. So it'll be encrypted, and then it'll be stored in a secured file. I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
So the way this is pitched to me is if we make a GUI that you can enter a username and password into, that's bare minimum. You'll get a passing grade. You'll get a 60. What he's looking for is more stuff. So what I have now will get me a 60, and then I've tacked on a bunch of other stuff. So I feel like I'm just gonna finish out like the parts I can feasibly do, and then, because I know for a fact I'm not gonna be able to incorporate like encryption and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe a simpler encryption algorithm if I can like just bring something into like just bring in like a library that'll do like simple encryption.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for a fact it's probably not going to be SHA 256. So, I got that going for me. I got to work on that. My code, by the way, looks like dog shit.
Yeah.
He's not grading me on what my code looks like, though. So he's grading me on what my program is.
That's good.
He's not looking at the code at all. My code is dog shit. It is bad.
Yeah. All over the place.
Yeah, because, like, originally I was like, I'll do this in Python, because I know Python is, like, super fucking easy. I've done Python before, and even if you don't know Python at all, you can brush up on the syntax within, like, 4 hours. You can be, like, very fluent in the language in, like, 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's just so simple. But then my professor was saying, like, oh, Python's more of a scripting language. It'd be better doing, like, a C++ or something. So I was like, okay, how do I do this in C++? Because I know C, so the jump to C++ shouldn't be too bad. So I looked up how to make a GUI in C++ Visual Studio. Because that's what I have installed is Visual Studio. So Visual Studio gives me, like, a template. You do a template, and then you drag a thing in, and you makes a GUI, and then you can, like, drag and drop stuff in. Turns out, not C++. It's in C#, which is the hash symbol, which is C++++, making the hash symbol.
Yeah.
That shit is a bit more difficult, but it took me longer than you would think to realize that it was an entirely different language. Because I was looking up how to do this in C++, and then I would punch it in and be like, this isn't working. What the fuck? How to do this in C#. Oh, it works. How about that?
Who would have thought?
How about that?
Who would have thought when you use the right coding language?
So, what I'm doing is I'm doing this project, and as I go, I'm learning how to do C#.
Nice.
But I know C pretty well. So, like, if you know C pretty well, you just have to, like, there's some changes, and then there's some changes in, like, some syntax, and then there's a lot of changes that make the language a lot easier to use. So it's like, well, this would have been a whole fucking function in C. It would have been a whole separate thing. Oh, but now I can just do, like, .this, and then it does it for me?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Function. That's pretty sick, yeah.
That's awesome. So, I've rambled on about my problems enough, Jordan. Now I care about what you have to say.
That's just funny. So, I'm glad that you're hanging in there. Home stretch. Almost there. And then we can play with our decks together all summer long. Just deck on deck action.
Just slapping our decks together.
Slapping them together. I love how beloved that bit was.
The deck bit is critically acclaimed.
By all our friends and family.
By everyone we've spoken to that listens to this so far.
Yeah. So, just saying. It might
We're
get...
kind of like the best ever.
Kinda. Just kind of, we're just very unique and funny.
We're just kind of a couple of funny guys.
A couple of funny lads. But, no, like, the biggest thing, I guess, to kind of transition into is I got a new radio in my car.
Did you?
Yeah. Now, we talked about potentially making a video on it, like, very vaguely and surface level.
We chucked the idea around. To be honest with you, I completely forgot about it until you mentioned it right this second. So
yeah, and my theory as to like why we won't make a video is because I was staying in brand. I already had an aftermarket radio, a Pioneer, and I was replacing it with another Pioneer aftermarket radio. Mm-hmm. So my suspicions were that it wouldn't really be much work at all, and I was correct.
Was it like the same harness and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just plugged it in and it worked. So, yeah, that's basically all of that work that went into it was just plug it in and install it. It's fucking great though.
What kind of unit did you get?
It's a double DIN. It's a Pioneer like DH dash a bunch of fucking numbers. It's a touchscreen.
Oh, real catchy. The
Android,
Sony route.
Sony route, yeah. It's a Android Auto and Apple CarPlay touchscreen radio.
Ooh.
So it's
there you go.
fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it cost me $350.
I've been using that's cheap for Android Auto and CarPlay. Is it wireless CarPlay?
Wired. But I'm gonna get the Motorola adapter at some point.
Because mine is wired Android Auto, and I've been using Android Auto. It's pretty good, and it eliminates one of my grievances that I had. So, okay, this is a really weird thing to care about, but when I was connected regularly through Bluetooth, it would show like what was currently playing on the radio. Great. It would populate most of the time some album artwork or like a picture of the artist or something.
Right.
But when it wasn't sure, it would just populate like a generic genre thing. And there's no way to disable that. So what I was ending up with is like I would have music on. Right. I would put on something like, I don't know. If I put on some like rap music and it was more like obscure, I say more obscure, like less than mainstream, it would populate with a picture of two light-skinned black women, and the category would be urban. Urban.
I remember seeing that. On your radio.
I'm rolling around looking like a Klan member. Urban?
Yeah.
You're telling me they made that decision? They weren't like, maybe we should think about this one again. Maybe we should go over this one again.
Yeah, maybe we should just put this in review.
This one should have stayed in drafts.
Yeah.
That was the thing I mostly cared about. And then for some stuff, it would say other. And some stuff it would say like traditional or whatever.
Right.
And for some stuff, it would just have no picture. So if it's other, just give me no picture at all. Or just don't give me a picture in the first place.
Or just stop saying what it is.
Exactly.
I know what it is. I put it on.
I know what genre this is. I picked the genre. Yeah. I know what it is.
Yeah. That's fucking hysterical.
The Android Auto interface, you open up Spotify, and it has the Spotify album artwork, and it's like full screen Spotify. It's great.
Yeah.
It looks way better.
Yeah, that's how it is. I use YouTube Music, and it's the same thing. And I just love, like, the whole interface. So, like, I used Maps to go to a local town because I needed to get my birth certificate, and I wasn't born in the city I live in. So I used Maps, and it was fucking great.
Jordan actually wasn't born, ever.
No, never. I just came into creation. I was like Aloy.
He just showed up, like, out of the ground one day.
Yeah, I'm like Aloy.
Fully grown, too.
Yeah, I've never aged.
He's looked like this for...
Yeah.
At least, since he came out of the ground.
Yeah, I sprouted like your fucking plants up there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, the radio itself is pretty great. And to kind of throw something in our boss's face that I was talking to him about, just because I love to throw things in his face and make him look stupid. No, I'm just kidding. But I talked about work I wanted to do in my car. And a lot of it was just kind of like general stuff I felt like doing, but didn't necessarily need to do. Well, now I need to do that work because I can hear some bearing noises out of the front end. So now that work has become accurate work that is needed.
So what, you were gonna put wheel bearings just like while you were in there, or now it's making noise?
So my goal was to do my front struts, and my idea was, okay, I'm doing front struts, and I'm gonna take everything apart. So my goal is front struts, front and rear wheel bearings. I'm also gonna do my front caliper because I want front calipers.
Wheel bearings.
Wheel bearings. My front calipers because I want red ones. And then I was thinking of painting my outer rear drums red as well, or black. So I was pretty much doing, all in all, calipers and like pretty much the whole front end besides the axle. I was going to do ball joints, tie rods, and hubs and bearings, all could get together. And then struts. And then I was like, okay, while I'm doing that, I'm also going to do brake fluid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to inspect my frame and check my brake lines, as well as do radiator fluid. So I was pretty much doing fucking everything in the front.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I think it'd be cool to like do. And he was kind of like, yeah, it's not a good investment, but it's cool to do or whatever. I was like, yes, that's how I look at it. I'm like, I'm putting in way over the value of my car, but it's cool to do.
At this point, technically, you've totaled the car multiple times over with the amount of work you put on it.
Yeah, between tires, yeah.
And it's not even like he puts a bunch of like ricer shit on it. It's just regular maintenance.
Yeah.
Like those tires and wheels are probably worth more than the rest of the car.
They are. Yeah. So, yeah, so pretty much I'm doing that. I've kind of swayed away from my interior conversion that I did. Just because everything that could have went wrong, and I've just lost all interest at this point.
Yeah.
It's kind of the vibe of like you get really excited to do something, and then every step of the way you just get fucked. So you're just pissed. Like, I fucking laid in glass for an entire afternoon taking out that interior. I sliced my arm up. I finally get this rancid interior out of this old car. I send my dad back, and no shame to him. He's a fucking like expert with cars. But somehow, in the process of removing the seatbelt cover,
sorry, I hurt myself. I don't know what I did. I moved my knuckle and I scraped it on my belt or something.
Oof. But somehow, in all my dad's expertise, he goes to remove the seatbelt cover for me, and he had a saw, because there was more story to it, but there was a saw, and he cuts through part of the interior. And now I need to source that piece separately, and I just gave up. I'm just done. I'm not doing the interior. Like, it's not happening. I'm going to stick with the shitty dog shit seats I have, and I'm not saying dog shit as in they're bad. I'm saying dog shit as in they literally are stained with dog shit. I'm just going to keep them. I don't care. I'm over it. So I'm just going to focus on kind of exterior work. I'm kind of in the same mindset that Alex was in, where he was like, let me detail my car, and then he got a fucking broomstick through his bumper. Well, like, let me do the interior and do the outside, but then my fucking door's keyed. And
because I said that, because I have my group of summer projects, and I said, well, I want to detail my car, because the exterior needs work. There's a couple of little micro scratches on the paint, and I want to get rid of that.
And our boss bought you a giant kit for Christmas.
Yeah, you got me a kit to do. I might as well use it. And the interior needs to be vacuumed, and the seats. I might get the little extractor vac, the water one.
Yeah.
Because you can get one for relatively cheap, just so I could wash out those seats. And that's one of my summer projects, is I want to get that shit dealt with. I want to get it all clean, looking nice.
Looking minty
Put some
fresh.
wax on it so it looks nice for longer. Maybe a ceramic coat.
There you go. Maybe get a carbon fiber hood.
You get all carbon fiber body panels.
There you go. Make your car be like $70,000.
Take like maybe 30, maybe 40 pounds off the car.
Yeah. It'll only cost you a small penny, $70,000.
That'll only cost me everything I own times 10.
Yeah.
So there's that. No, I'm not gonna do any extra parts. I think I'm just gonna do like a detail and then maybe like a ceramic coat on the paint. I don't know yet.
I thought about doing a turbo in my car because you can get my same engine turbocharged, so it's pretty much plug and play.
Oh, isn't that what the SS is? The Cobalt SS?
SS is turbocharged, but I believe it's a different engine altogether. But I believe mine's a 4-cylinder and that's a 6-cylinder. They might both be 6s, but there's a trim model of my car, like the LS, that is a mine's a 2.2 liter. That one's a 2.4 liter turbocharged. So I believe you can pretty much fucking plug and play that shit. So I thought about it, but honestly, at this point, I think I said this to our boss. I was like, there's just things that I would rather put my money into. Like, I want to do these things. I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to have like a halfway decent, looking car, because the car runs great and everything, and it looks like decent for just a fucking standard fucking old ass car. But I'm like, I also kind of just want to like buy a house.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
and if you want to like put money into a car, you want to have like a halfway decent platform.
Right. And
right?
the Cobalt LS is a good mod platform, but it's not a good platform.
Yeah, it's like the Honda Civic. It's a great mod platform, and those engines, if you do them right, they can take a lot of power.
Right.
But on the surface, it's not incredible.
Yeah, it was a base model car. So like to me, I'm gonna just wait. Like I was telling our boss, I was like, I want a Mustang, and I've wanted one for a while, and I want to get one, and then I want to mod that. But the problem with me is like when push comes to shove, and I have the money, and I'm like, man, do I really want to spend like this $28,000 on this Mustang? Speaking of $28,000 on a Mustang, I was talking to the Draft Man. He swung by on Friday.
Yeah, I noticed him. It was crazy because he doesn't work in office anymore. He's in the field, and we. Every time someone saw him, it was reported. Like,
yes.
I saw him, and then I like came back because I was out.
Yeah, near DoorDash, right?
Yeah, I was out getting our food, and I look, and I see a familiar Miata. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then I walk back in, and I'm like, hey, Giraffe Boy is here. Shouldn't call him Giraffe Boy. He's older than me.
And he'd probably kick our asses, too. Pretty easily, actually.
And then he was like just making his rounds, and every time someone saw him, it was reported. Yeah. It was like a Bigfoot sighting.
It really was. But I was talking to him and our boss and my other coworker, and I was talking about the Mustangs, and they all just kind of looked at me and they were like, "Yeah, don't get the EcoBoost." And I was like, I was talking to them like how you always say like, oh, it's a $10,000 difference, and one of them goes, it's a $10,000 difference, but you're getting way better hardware. He's like, the EcoBoost is just shit. Those engines are shit. And I guess he had, I forget what car it was. I think he said like a Pontiac with the same style engine, and it just like he went through two engines on it. And I was just like,
I'm thinking, right? My statement, my bottom line, EcoBoost Mustang. My statement remains unchanged. It's perfect for people who don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. They just want a Mustang because they like the look of a Mustang.
And it's a Mustang. It's a brand thing. It's like an iPhone. Yeah, it's like an iPhone SE.
I was like, well, yeah, it's the iPhone SE. It's like, yeah, people who know what you have are going to make fun of you. But if you don't give a shit, then why care?
Yeah.
But, it's like the old commercials. Could have had a V8.
Yeah. could have had a V8 and
I was considering getting the 4.6 Mustang, and then they were like, don't get the 4.6 Mustang. So I was like, all right, whatever, get the Coyote instead. And then I was looking the difference between the 4.6 and then the generation that had the Coyote. That has the Coyote is like a decent chunk of change. And I said, if I'm just going to spend that much money, I'll get the car that I actually want.
Right.
I'll get a C5 Corvette, a Z06.
Right.
And that'll be that. So, if you wanted a Mustang, you might as well wait to do it, because then those original like first few year 5.0 cars will be
way down.
Will be cheaper.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go a lot older, get an original 5.0.
Right.
I don't know if it's original, but because they had the 4.6, but before that they had a 5.0.
Mm-hmm.
So like in the Fox body.
Right. Now to me,
then your Fox body 5.0 is gonna make less power than the 4.6 that came after it.
The shitty EcoBoost 4.6, yeah.
No! It'll make less power than the shitty 4-banger EcoBoost.
Yeah.
Because those things make like 250 horsepower maybe, carbureted V8.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
They might be fuel injected. I apologize if I'm incorrect.
Whatever. Yeah, also that too, like, I don't fucking want a carbureted.
I apologize for any discrepancies that may show up. I just speak. On this show, I don't research anything.
No, it's all just top of that.
So if I'm incorrect, deal with it.
No, but to me, like, the problem I have is, like, by the time I get a Mustang. Like, I would not want one now because
That's
just
fair.
where I live, it's just like I want a garage to house it.
Having a high horsepower V8 rear wheel drive car will do great in the snow.
Yeah, I mostly mean like my neighborhood, like not being in a house. Like not even like people breaking in. Like genuinely, like, I park under trees. My car's covered in bird shit in your driveway right now because I'm just under trees all the fucking time. And it always has like if there's a windstorm, there's always a fucking branch that like slams down on my car, and like
Well, that's the thing.
that's
is,
the
like,
stuff that I just wouldn't want.
my next purchase, I have a handful of things that I want to like try to choose from, but it's pointing towards the Corvette. If I get that C5 Corvette, I'm only gonna drive it like certain times, like
Certain weather
probably
conditions.
between like April and October or November,
At the latest,
and
yeah.
then it's probably just gonna battery tender, fuel additives, or drain the tank or whatever, and it's just gonna sit covered, and I'll take it out every so often.
Yeah.
You know, when it's dry out. But it's not going to see snow. It probably won't see rain. Like,
Right.
Because I have the other car that I have access to other vehicles that I would be more happy with having stuff happen to that vehicle than to the Corvette. So then I'm probably going to keep it covered and I'm going to keep taking care of it. Because the thing with like the Fiesta, I bought it and I like that car, but I bought it to be a daily driver.
Right, under that knowledge. You take care of it, but it's a daily.
It's like I understand that there's going to be damage to the car eventually.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. But that's kind of my I guess catch-22 is like I want to have a good place to store it, which means I need to have a house. By the time I have a house, I'm probably going to be I'm going to be married at that point because I signed fucking with different last names. That's for goddamn sure. But so I'll probably be the next thing will be like kids at that point, and it's like where does the Mustang fall into here? And at that point, it's like I'm probably just gonna be the dad with the Ford Explorer. Like,
well, right.
It's just
think
gonna
about
happen.
it. Marriage, house, kids go to college, Mustang.
So the Mustang is about 28 years away. I'll be about 50. So
Just like most owners of cars like that.
yeah.
It's like Mustangs, Corvettes especially.
Dude, Corvettes, like you have to be balding with hip paint.
It's all
like,
old dudes, right? That's why when
They
I
make
get
you sign that like when you go to buy one. There's like a waiver. It's like, okay, are you balding?
if I walk into work one day and I look like I'm 60, that's when I've just bought the Corvette because you sign it and you age up. I'm gonna show up with the white tube socks on.
Oh,
with
no.
the
Jungle
New
shorts?
Balance,
Yeah.
the New Balance sneakers with the jean shorts and like a white t-shirt.
Oh Jesus, that's crazy, man.
I'm gonna become old and I'm gonna get this car that's like it's got like 350 horsepower and it'll do 180 miles an hour, but I'm gonna drive it 40 on the highway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive it 20 under the speed limit all the time, even in a 20-mile-an-hour zone.
I'm just gonna
I'm just gonna stay still.
Oh shit! You're gonna put it in neutral, wait for the Earth to revolve to you, so you roll. But yeah. So I don't know where this whole Mustang thing fits in. I think I just gotta cut my losses for now and just
I mean,
focus on
eventually, right? Think about it this way: if, say, the Cobalt takes a shit, right? I would say what my move would be if I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend big money. I would get like probably the same year range. I would get like a Corolla.
Yeah, that's
and
the
then,
daily.
And then you would just keep that and then just keep it in decent condition. And then the next time you can afford to finance something, you can get the Mustang.
Right.
And maybe get a used one because like a new one is like 50 or 60 grand.
Yeah.
50 or 60 grand sticker. So 100 grand.
Yeah, pretty much. I posed the idea. I just planted a seed of an idea in the draft man's head about buying his Miata because he's potentially looking to sell. So I kind of posed the idea Don't think I'd actually do it, but I showed him a little bit of interest.
I think it would be a fine car for you.
I agree.
Although
his price just went up because he got a new top.
I think it would be a fine car for me. I'm just too big, I think. I feel like height-wise, I could probably deal with it,
could, 'cause he
but
deals with it.
width-wise, I couldn't.
Yeah, he deals with it height-wise.
Like,
so
I think the seats would be too small.
Yeah.
For me.
It was pretty tight even when I sat in there with him and went for a drive. So
Oh.
We'll see. I'm gonna be hanging out with him soon. Like I'm gonna be hanging out with him in like probably 2 or 3 weeks to actually learn how to drive it. So we'll see if I'm like, holy shit, I fucking love this, and then maybe I am like, hey, Giraffe Man, sell me this shit.
You drive it, and then you get back to his house, and you just start rummaging through his stuff to find his title, and you're just like, here, sign this, sign this, sign this now.
I go into his safe somehow. I like enter the code. I open it, and like, here you go.
Sign this now, and he goes, you realize like, you are completely outgunned here.
Completely.
And
then I pull out my shotgun, and he's like, fuck.
And then he's like, and he just thinks, and then there's like 37 guns on him.
Yeah, we're supposed to do something rootin' tootin', all probably in the same day. So I'm like, all right. I was like, here's the plan: learn to drive stick, get drunk, go shoot.
There you go.
No, but yeah, I have like a shopping list together for when I get my LTC as well. Our boss keeps being like, yeah, it's a pretty penny. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be.
You have to fucking deal with that shit, because I'm just gonna. Cause the way it works, you have to call the police station. It's a whole thing. You sign some paperwork. You gotta do what you gotta do. Right? There's a waiting list. Was put on that waiting list. Never got a call back. Great, whatever. Now, it makes no sense to call back. Because
you're 3 months away.
In
less than 3 months, 2.5.
Yeah, 2 months and change. I'm gonna have to re-up it anyway. So I might as well just wait and then call again.
Right.
I'll just do it on my birthday. I'll say like, hey, I'm looking to get in as soon as possible. And hopefully get all that squared away. And then, by this time next year, maybe, hypothetically, there's a possibility that I might have an LTC.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But,
for something that is supposed to be a constitutional right, there sure are a lot of hurdles to this whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there are.
But,
Chris, let's talk about something we did together. Let's talk about...
Like what?
Maybe I should have worded that a little differently. Talk about the short film that we made together with the help of Jason.
Oh,
talk a little bit about that, because at the last episodes, we mentioned that we were filming it.
Yeah.
But we hadn't done it yet.
But we had, and then we had done it.
Yeah. And then we had.
So it went pretty well. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite fun.
Yeah.
It went well.
It was fun getting fucking thrown around. My favorite part, right? This is my favorite part of the whole short film, is there's a scene where like there's a gun on the ground and Chris goes for it and I have to jump on his back and like try to get it from him. And I put all my like effort into this one shot where like Chris is supposed to throw me off, so I fucking yeeted myself really hard into the wall. And then I realized in the final film that you can't even tell that I'm there.
You can't even see him.
You just see Chris's shoulder. I was so upset with myself. I was like, damn, bro. But it was a good time. We had some good laughs.
We had a lot of good fun, and then we had IHOP.
Yeah, we went to IHOP. Chris paid. That was our payment for assisting. That was fun. That was really fun. That IHOP, dude. That shit
pretty good.
Different. That was tasty.
I had me a Belgian waffle.
Yeah, dude. I had me some strawberry banana French toast.
It was going kind of hard.
Shit was going hard. But, Jason was there. He was a fucking riot as always.
Yeah.
He dressed up like the goon.
Good time. But directly after last podcast, I want to set the scene for you.
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. Paint the picture.
I pitched this whole thing to Jordan, and he's like, yeah, whatever, this is when I got time. Great. However, podcast. So last podcast, we did our 2 episodes. Right after we ended off.
This was day 1 of filming.
This was day 1 of 2 of filming. We figure out, like, okay, I explained basically this is what we need, this, and this. So we went out and we had to get copies of the script printed at Staples because my printer sucks a dick. and wouldn't print anything. So I had to pay for copies. I don't even remember how much it was, but it was like
it's like $4.
next to nothing. So I don't care that much. Mind you, this paper that they gave us was very reflective. So the second we looked at it outside in the sun, I was blinded. It was like being flashbanged. That's beside the point. So we get that done. And then we went to Target because we needed
some supplies.
We needed supplies. So basically, in the film, as a prop, I needed fake cocaine, and I wasn't going to buy real cocaine because that was too much money. So we had to buy flour. Next best alternative, right? So picture this. Saturday afternoon, busy Target.
I have this jacket on just because I feel like it adds to it.
2 guys walk in.
Roughly the same age.
One larger man and one small little twink boy walk in. And then we bought...
the flour.
Yeah, flour. And I bought saran wrap, and Jordan bought some house supplies, like stuff he had forgotten to get the night before when he was shopping.
Yeah, I got some Swiffers. I got some chocolate sauce.
Yeah, so...
And, yeah.
So two men, the same age, walk in, buy baking supplies and housing supplies, and then leave together. There were definitely people, like, right, I feel like of all the times that there's been potential to be like, oh, this is a gay couple. I feel like that was the closest, right? Because we had this ongoing joke, which is a joke, and I feel like me being specific or like explicit about the fact that it is a joke makes it seem like it's not, but it is. That's an ongoing joke, right? Because it's just him and I, and we do things just the two of us a lot because for the podcast and stuff.
Every like video we've made, it's just, like the camping trip was originally just going to be the two of us in the woods.
So, I just feel like we really looked at, we probably got some looks.
If this was like 40 years ago, we probably would have got our asses kicked.
If this was like 40 years ago or like the Deep South, we would have been dragged behind a pickup truck.
Yeah, right. F-350 lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the Target experience. And the best part about the whole experience is Chris's realization, because we got back in the car and just kind of sat down, and Chris just looks at me.
And then I just like laid out this whole scenario, basically the same way I laid it out for just now. I laid that out to Jordan, and we were fucking dying. We were in hysterics.
Yeah, literally fucking dying. And then we got Taco Bell.
Then we got Taco Bell.
That was some good Taco Bell.
So it was fine.
Dude, the worst part about the whole Taco Bell thing was like Chris was driving the Fiesta, so it's a manual car obviously, so he needs both hands. So I had the Taco Bell and I was incredibly hungry. So I'm like, man, I really don't want to like eat in front of Chris because he can't eat. So I had to wait until we got back to his house. Yeah, and I ate that so fast, dude.
You said that to me. You were like, I just really want to eat, and then I don't want to eat funny because you got to use both your hands. And I said, yeah, that's good because you're not fucking feeding me. That's why I'm drawing this line right now.
we were talking about that because I was like, you bite into your taco, you get some sauce, and I'm just like, I wipe the sauce off and lick it off my finger.
I'm drawing this line in the sand right now.
I'm glad we set the precedent. Like, no.
Yeah, there has to be limits somewhere.
Yeah. I was just like, could you imagine, right? Someone's like, man, I think that might have been a gay couple. They see us go to Taco Bell and they see us pull out as I'm like wiping sauce off your lip.
You feeding me tacos.
and they're like, no wonder why he's so fucking fat.
Damn.
Being hand fed.
He's
tacos.
A feeder.
So, yeah. Literally fucking feeding you.
Yeah, that was quite an experience.
But the short film was really good. There's an idea floating around in our heads because we just like to do stupid shit and waste money on projects sometimes. So we're talking about remastering.
That's what I'm the best at.
Yeah, so we might remaster it eventually. I think personally we should upload the original because we need something to remaster, right? So we can get like a much better film out of it and expand. We can make a plot, like a legitimate plot. I think it'd be a cool.
Maybe idea. I'll make it a bit better. I don't know.
We'll see.
Maybe it'll stay in the archives. It seems likely that it will, but I don't know.
But Chris, you had a fast food incident. So we talked about Taco Bell. That was a great experience. Taco Bell was great. But there was just a tiny incident that I recollect hearing about at work yesterday that I think maybe you should kind of bring up. Brace yourselves.
So it's Friday. Yesterday. It's Friday. Every Friday, we order out.
Yep.
We order out. We get something in. Okay, Jordan's not included.
But I usually end up with free food somehow.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the best part of this story.
This time, Jordan made out like a bandit.
Yeah.
However, right, we order out. This time, we got McDonald's. Now, McDonald's has usually been, up until this
you've
point,
got it before. It's great.
a very positive experience. Okay? So we put in the order on DoorDash. Great. We get the food. We bring it back. And then we're sifting through the food. And it's Jordan's there and our boss is there because we were having like some sort of meeting. It was supposed to be a meeting, and then we got McDonald's.
Yeah, it kind of interjected the meeting. Yeah.
And then this put a full stop to the meeting. And we didn't have much to talk about anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So we're sifting through these bags to get our food. And
fucking Alex.
So here's what Alex ordered. We order so much fucking food.
Yeah.
We order like fat bastards. So Alex orders, it's called like a classic pack or some shit. It has it's supposed to be a meal for 2 people.
Yeah.
It's got 2 Big Macs, 20-piece nugget, and 2 medium fries.
Yep.
And he orders that.
And was nice enough.
And he's like, I got this extra Big Mac. I thought I was going to eat it, whatever. Jordan, here, have this extra Big Mac. Yeah. Then, slowly, we realize to our horror,
there's no other Big Mac.
There's no second Big Mac. So they forgot one of our Big Macs.
Not a huge deal. Upsetting. I felt bad. I was like 4 bites in when Alex realized. I was like, oh, I feel bad now. And he was nice about it. He was like, it's not your fault. It's theirs. No big deal.
Sure.
He had enough food. He was good.
Now, I ordered chicken sandwich. Because usually I'll go for like a double quarter pounder. No, I was thinking chicken sandwich. I want something different.
Yeah.
Spicy deluxe chicken.
Ooh.
Pretty good. Yeah. Right? And I got some chicken nuggets, large fries. Right. Great. Look in my bag. There's only 1 20-piece nugget in there. And that's Alex's. So they forgot my chicken nuggets. They forgot my fucking chicken nuggets. And I ordered them. I ordered these chicken nuggets. How do you forget a big box full of
20
chicken nuggets? Yeah. Right? A significant portion of my order. So, yeah, okay. They forgot my chicken nuggets. I was fucking already pissed. And then, come to find out, they didn't include like 2 of our fries. Because there was supposed to be, I think, 3 medium fries and 3 large fries. And then they ended up with like, I think we ended up with 3 larges and 2 mediums. I don't remember entirely. And then they gave one of our other coworkers, they gave him the wrong size. He ordered a coffee, a large, and they gave him the wrong size. They gave him a medium.
Then the other coworker was missing something too, wasn't he? I think he was missing one small thing.
Oh yeah,
every order was fucked up.
He was missing a medium fry.
Medium fry. Every order was fucked up. I don't think I've seen Chris that angry in a long time.
Dude, I was actually genuinely really mad.
Our boss, I feel like, went into overdrive a little. Like, I feel like he was like preparing himself to have to calm an employee.
Oh,
like
no,
the face he made.
Well, here's the difference. Yeah. Here's the difference. I'll get like, there's levels. So like, I'll start to get angry, and then that's when I start to get very vocal about my anger. And then, because I've been very angry these last couple of weeks, and he knows that for a fact, because I complain to him a lot. Mm-hmm. I've been very angry these last couple of weeks. But there's a point where it's like, I'll get very vocal about my anger, and then my anger will reach a point where I don't say anything.
Yeah.
So I was just sat there in my chair.
After bitching for like 2 minutes.
Dude, yeah, for like 5 actual minutes, I was just sat there like this. I was fuming.
You could
furious.
see the smoke.
I was so pissed.
And he was red the whole time.
I was so fucking genuinely angry. And they didn't even give me that much of a refund either.
What did they give?
They gave me back $18. That was at least $25, $25 or $30 worth of food.
Yeah.
So, you know what? Fuck you, DoorDash. Fuck you, McDonald's.
What a bunch of assholes,
And
man.
fuck our dumbass driver who didn't understand what take a right and then take another right meant.
What did he do? Or he just didn't understand?
I just had to say to her like 4 times, take a right and then take another right. Take a right, you'll see a stop sign, then take a right at that stop sign. I don't know how much more clear I can be.
That seems obvious. You take a right and then you go left. That made sense.
Is it take a right and then a right? And I say, yes, take a right.
Then go forward and take another right at your next available opportunity.
Because there's two parking lots. So she's in the other one, right? So you take a right, take another right.
Yeah.
Great. Gets you, believe it or not, going around the corner gets you around the building.
Makes sense.
It's like, you want me to go through the building? No, that's not what I said. I said take a right and then take another right. So what you want me to do? Take a right and then another right. So the order was fucked up. Our dasher was retarded. It's just it's difficult. It's difficult to be alive right now for me.
It's a hard time.
It's a difficult time.
And then tearing up the floor ended up being more. God damn it! I'm so mad.
I mean, not that I'm
part's
so
fine.
mad, really. It just ended up being a little more work than I thought. And to top it off, I thought the cat done broke again.
Oh yeah, the cat almost fucking suicided.
I got home last night, and I got home, and the cat was walking weird. It's like, okay, that's weird. There's one of his paws. He wasn't putting weight on it sometimes, and sometimes it was fine, and he would still jump down and break his fall with his front paws anyway, so I don't know if he was even that hurt.
He's just being a drama queen.
Yeah, as he does. So he was like, oh, well, the cat's hurt, so... And I picked him up, and I was squeezing on his leg and his paws and his toes and stuff just to make sure, like... Because if it's broken, he's obviously going to scream about it.
Scream and pull it.
Yeah. So, you know, I did that, and he was still purring. He was just hanging out. He didn't, like, recoil or scream or whatever. So I'm like, you know what? He can wait till the morning to go to the vet. I'll just call them. They open at 8 tomorrow. I'll call them. So I woke up early specifically so I could call the vet, and I wake up, and he's fine this morning. He's just fine. He's chilling.
Yeah, he's just vibing.
So I thought the cat done broke again, but the cat done fixed himself. So what had happened, I believe, is he was on the windowsill. He sits behind my dad's chair, and he was on the windowsill behind my dad's chair, and something spooked him, and he jumped, I don't know, 6.5 foot off the ground, and he landed funny. So he must have hurt his little foot.
Little cat foot.
Rolled his ankle or something. You know, when you step and you end up stepping like this.
Yeah.
Where your heel goes like that. That's what he did.
He just jumps and it's like a banana peel. He hits the ground and slips and face plants.
He just landed weird. So he's
funny.
fine now. It's like you could tell that he's still a little sore, but he's walking on that paw just fine. Right. So it's like he probably just got a little boo-boo.
Right.
He's probably just a little sore. I don't know. He's too stupid for his own good.
Makes sense. Cats do be like that.
He's not very intelligent.
Yeah. I was just thinking of something I mentioned earlier with the radio about how I went to my local town where I was born to get my birth certificate. Well, it's a funny story about that, kind of. Android Auto took me to the police station.
That's not where you get your birth certificate.
They're butted together.
Oh, okay.
So
you're supposed to go to town hall.
I go to town hall, and apparently it's right up against the police station, which kind of makes sense. I turn in.
If you play your cards right, you can get your death certificate there.
Good question. Good point. So I turn in, and I'm like, this area looks weird. I park my car. I'm like, man, there's just a lot of fucking cops here for some reason.
What's going on here? And you're looking at this big size of police station. You're like, what is this fucking place?
I parked next to some normal cars, and right across from me is just a fucking line of police cars. And I'm like, no big deal. I shut the car off. I get out. And I just like, I walk to the back of my car and I look up, and it's drizzling, by the way, just to kind of set the scene. It's like dark, gloomy. I look up towards the building, and there's like 7 fucking cops looking at me.
They're
and
eyeing you up, dude.
Just looking at me. And I looked at them, and I'm not gonna lie, my immediate thought, I had this fucking jacket on, this like little like fucking white boy preppy jacket we always make fun of.
Yeah.
I was like, if I had like a friend with me, this could have went a lot worse. Because there was 7 cops mean mugging me.
They're just looking at you.
And I'm the whitest white person you could ever see. And I was like, oh my God.
So you're pretty good. You're pretty safe, I think.
I just like looked up, and then I was like, hey, how's it going? And one of them was like, hey, how you doing, man? And I just walked in.
Hey, I was looking for town hall. I don't think this is the right place.
Well, what I had done was, I think part of why they might have been mean mugging me as well, probably should have mentioned this, is when I pulled in, I pulled up. No, I was kidding.
When I pulled in, I
started firing.
rammed right into one of their cars.
No, when I pulled in,
I drove my car into the lobby of the police station. I should have mentioned that.
When I pulled in and it said you arrived, I was like, I didn't see a City Hall sign. So I went on Google Street View, and I kind of perused the street on Street View to see where the fuck City Hall was.
Yeah.
And that's where I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh, I'm here. I have to walk down the curb. So I spent like 2 or 3 minutes in my car. So I don't know if they were like, just like, what the fuck's going on?
They're probably just looking at you.
But then I got out, and then, yeah, I just like said hi. It was like time stopped. I got out, I was like, hey, how's it going? And then time continued, and they all went about their day. It was the fucking funniest thing, like, ever.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how's it going? I just get shot. I'm like, they just shoot me, they tow my car, throw it in the river, throw me right after. I'm like, fuck,
They
man.
shoot you immediately, and then they call your family, and then tell them that you never existed in the first place.
They go inside, like, let me see the birth certificate.
It's like 1984. You get unpersoned.
Made sense.
It's like you never existed.
They somehow wipe me from, like, the work archives, everything. The podcast gets taken
Somehow
down.
I didn't hear about it. I go, hey, where's Jordan? Who? We don't have a Jordan that works for us.
And you're like, no. You're on the podcast. You're like, man, he didn't show up. You go back to the archive every episode. I'm not there.
Everything's deleted, and
It's
they
just you
find
talking
out.
to yourself.
They find out that I still know, and they shoot me.
There you go. That's a plot for a short film.
My fucking heart explodes.
I get unpersoned, and Chris is like, man, I'm going through the archives. It's just episodes of you talking to yourself. You're like, what the fuck?
And the virtual ones where it's like, it'll like cut back to like just your POV. It's just a black screen.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Yeah, there you go. That's the next short film plot. But that was funny when I went there. I was like, God damn.
Oh, man, that's really funny.
But to be fair, getting a birth certificate, I went in there thinking like, I think ever since I got my FID, my expectations of going to government buildings have changed, where I waited in line for the FID for 6 hours and barely got in. I didn't get in the first day, and then I got in the second day. And ever since then, I've been like over prepared for everything. So I had cash for the birth certificate, and I had backup cash. I had my ID.
I had my checkbook too.
No, I had my ID, another source of ID, and a backup source of ID. Like, I was ready.
Damn.
I walk into this building. I'm like, okay, I'm on the second floor. I'm following the signs. I'm like, okay, city clerk, let's go. I go down. It's just some blonde lady and like a couple other women just sitting in a normal office. I'm like, hey, I'm here for a birth certificate. Here's my license. I put the 10 on the table, and I just like got the birth certificate in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like over prepared. I was like, imagine if you went to like a concert, right? But what you did was you brought like headphones, and then you brought this really long aux cord, and then you brought an adapter for the aux cord, and then you plugged it into their sound system.
There you go.
That's like how fucking prepared I was, dude. I was
It's like
just
the
ready
Coast
to rip.
Guard, Semper Paratus. Always prepared.
There you go. I was, dude. I could have got a passport. That's how prepared I was. I had enough.
Damn. Well, I imagine the IDing process is a little more rigorous
For that, yeah.
for your when you want to get a gun. They kind of want to know who you are.
Well, the problem is it's not even the IDing process. It's just, to be honest, like the people. Like, honestly, the thing about getting the gun is like you show up with your ID, and that's it, and you just get it. Now for the LTC, it's different. You do need letters of recommendation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a thing.
But it's the same concept where you go in, you just give them both, and you get it, or not get it, but you get your application and you wait. But with this, it was like, I was more so prepared because with the LTC and the FID, I waited for so fucking long because that cop in my city is like kind of a dick. He showed up late the first day, then they're like, hey, even though you showed up an hour and a half late, the cutoff is at 12.
You don't have to stay any extra time.
Yeah. So, and I also fucked up the first time, too, where I don't have my own checkbook because Lexi gets free checks because she's a student, so we just use hers. And I used one of her check, and I made it out to such and such police department.
Oh, you're supposed to make it out to the
You make it out to
or
the city.
Yeah.
So I waited for almost 5 hours outside, got in that first time, went to do the fingerprinting. He was like, hey, do you have another check with you? I was like, no. He's like, all right, leave.
See, that's why when I'm in a situation where I know I'm going to have to write a check, I bring a blank check.
Yeah. Yeah, in hindsight. That's what I did the second time.
Because, what happened is I fucked up that exact process once when I went to buy my first car, when I went to buy my Accent.
Oh, I think I remember you telling me about this in high school.
The way my payment worked is, I would have had a much better chance of getting my loan if I was able to put another $500 down within 30 days. Right? So, great. So, basically, how the process worked is you would write a check, and it would be certified, the funds would be secured, and then within 30 days, it would be withdrawn.
Right.
From your account. And normally with a check, you fill it out, and you hand it over, and they certify, and then it gets taken out immediately. So I bring out the check, and I know, okay, 30 days, so I dated it 30 days out. And then I made out the check, and I did everything. Turns out, it's supposed to be dated for that day, so it could be certified, and then that whatever. Day. So it didn't end up working out, and I had to write another one.
Yeah. No, that made sense. I didn't bring the backup check, so the second day, I brought a blank check. I put the value or whatever.
Yeah, so I'll always make it a point to just bring a blank one. Because I know, if I mess it up, I'm not going to have, it's not 1970 anymore. I don't carry checks.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even think I've paid for anything with a check outside of, business stuff and, very specific, government things. And, I used to pay my loans with a check. But, writing checks for paying for stuff is kind of
null and void at this point.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna be better prepared. Even though I know what I'm supposed to bring for my LTC, still gonna over prepare and call the guy again and be like, remind me one more time, what exactly do I need? Because if I go through the same struggle, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, but I also went at a bad time too.
Just gonna go, is this Jordan again? Yeah, I'm just making sure.
You're the check idiot.
This is the fourth time this week you've called. I've given you this list 4 times. It's always been the same.
And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. All right.
Just one more time though.
I call back again. I'm like, hey man, this is Dave.
Hey man, I just need that list of requirements. Jordan? No. This is
Jordan.
Jordan with a Y.
Jordan with a Y.
I just broke a glass or something. I don't know what that was.
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
There's some kind of commotion that happened.
But that's all I got, man. Done for this episode. I'm gonna save some topics for the next.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you want to find us, you can find us natively on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, and of course Pocket Cast, my app of choice. You also have the RSS feed. You can put it into whatever app you want. And as always, comments, questions, concerns, and death threats, send them over to synapsemisfire@pm.me, as well as Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget the YouTube comment section, as bad as it is.
Oh. Jordan.
Yes.
I have to confront you. Our TikTok account, some sort of schism has happened. We have 2 TikTok accounts. And the link in the description that we have there now does not go to the one where all our shorts are uploaded.
Shit. All right, we have to fix that.
So if you click the one in the description for the last, 40-odd episodes, yeah. It's not going to take you to the right place.
So I'll fix that. That'll be fixed in this episode. So click the one that's in there now.
There you go.
Do it.
There you go.
Go. Now.
Do it now.
Not going to lie. Our Spider-Man TikTok kind of has almost 2,000 views.
God damn,
you didn't see what happened with that one?
No.
We got 2,000 views, and there's 2 comments I replied to with people there.
Damn, I don't keep up because I was like, I'm going to find the account, and I go to click, I'm like, oh, I need a link. I click on the one in the description, the most recent, and then I realize that that's not the right one. Yeah. So I was like, oh, whatever.
Damn. But yeah. Anyway, peace out. I gotta show Chris our TikTok now.
Goodbye.